any registry data we have, we like to take out as far as we can. If we have 1 or 2 year follow-up and get 3 year follow-up, it's very important to be able to do that. In terms of new studies, we still have data coming out of the Griffin study. I mean, sub-studies that are being presented and published in abstract form and being published from this large trial, we're still seeing, so we'll see more of that. Again, we'll see the Triton study data eventually, not quite yet, but eventually. So many more things coming, and a lot of them amount to how we can do in patients already on background therapy. It's more challenging to see improvement with patients on 1 or 2 drugs already. We saw that in Griffin. It was fantastic. A third of the patients are on 2 background therapies, and we still saw improvement. The rest on a single background therapy. So being able to add a medication with a different mechanism and keep pushing the envelope forward is really important. I think we'll hear more data in that respect.
You know, there are lots of subpopulations within this disease, and there are lots of gaps in our knowledge still about, you know, how some of those subpopulations behave. So we, as a company, with the help of many of our physicians, continue to invest in new clinical trials to, you know, produce more data in those areas to see how patients do with, you know, various sometimes comorbidities, but other forms of these diseases. We do that through clinical trials, we do it through registries. I think, as you heard Dr. Tapson say, we'll continue to report out data both from clinical trials where we complete studies. We've completed a number this year in Pulmonary, looking at right ventricular function, but we have others that will continue to roll out over the next 5 years, and we are following patients longer and longer. So, you know, the initial trials in this area focused on short periods of time, like 6 months. We now have data actually from the Seraphim trial that was referenced earlier, where we've been following patients for up to 7 years, and we see what happens to these patients with treatment with their disease over longer and longer periods of time, and we'll continue to release that data as it becomes available.
And I wouldn't necessarily expect a family practice or primary care physician to be able to stay up on all these data. They have so much to do and so many things they need to know. Primary care is very challenging nowadays. I think if they can be aware of the disease, aware of pulmonary hypertension, symptoms, unexplained dyspnea, may not be being overweight or being deconditioned or from some other primary disease, just simple things on exam that some people might not notice, a loud second heart sound. I think primary care docs really need to know some basic things and make sure they get these patients referred to a pulmonologist or a PH referral center.